Have you ever met someone who seemed perfect until a single moment revealed a completely different side? A calm person suddenly exploding in anger. A confident individual collapsing under criticism. A kind friend becoming unexpectedly cruel. Carl Jung believed these moments are not accidents. They are revelations. Jung argued that every human being lives behind a psychological mask, a carefully constructed identity designed to gain acceptance, maintain status, and avoid rejection. He called this mask the persona, but beneath that persona lies something deeper, something hidden, something unconscious, something powerful, the shadow. And Jung believed that if you understand the relationship between persona and shadow, you can read a person's true character with remarkable accuracy. Today, we explore Jung's most revealing psychological insight: how-to patterns, shadow, projection, and persona breakdown. Expose the authentic personality beneath the mask. The persona is not deception. It is adaptation. From childhood, we learn which traits are rewarded and which are rejected. We develop behaviors that make us likable, competent, and socially acceptable. This becomes our public identity. The confident professional, the supportive partner, the calm friend, the agreeable colleague. The persona allows social functioning, but it also creates distance from authenticity, because parts of ourselves that don't fit this image are suppressed, not destroyed, suppressed. Jung believed this suppression creates psychological imbalance, because identity becomes performance rather than integration. And when identity is performance, pressure becomes dangerous, because pressure threatens the mask. The shadow represents everything we reject about ourselves. Traits society, emotions we consider unacceptable, impulses that conflict with our ideal identity. But Jung emphasized that the shadow is not purely negative. It contains creativity, strength, ambition, and emotional truth. The shadow is simply unconscious, and what remains unconscious does not disappear. It influences behavior indirectly through emotional reactions, through projection, through conflict. Understanding the shadow is essential for character insight, because character is not defined by persona. It is defined by how a person relates to their shadow. One of Jung's most profound discoveries was projection. Projection occurs when individuals attribute disowned traits to others. Instead of recognizing anger within themselves, they perceive others as aggressive. Instead of acknowledging insecurity, they accuse others of arrogance. Projection is psychological defense, but it also reveals unconscious content. Jung believed that intense emotional reactions toward others often indicate shadow material. This does not mean criticism is always projection, but disproportionate emotional intensity often is. Projection creates conflict because individuals respond to others as symbolic representations of their own rejected traits. Understanding projection transforms relationships. It encourages curiosity rather than judgment, reflection rather than reaction, and it reveals character through emotional patterns. While projection reveals unconscious material indirectly, persona breakdown reveals it directly. Persona breakdown occurs when the social mask can no longer be maintained. Moments of stress, conflict, rejection, loss of control. During these moments, suppressed traits emerge, not because pressure creates new behavior, but because pressure removes inhibition. Jung believed that crisis reveals character because the persona depends on stability. When stability collapses, authenticity surfaces. Observing behavior during difficulty, provides more accurate character insight than observing behavior during comfort. Comfort supports persona. Pressure reveals shadow. Beyond projection and persona breakdown, Jung emphasized integration. Integration refers to conscious acknowledgement of shadow material. Self-aware individuals recognize their contradictions. They tolerate discomfort. They reflect on emotional reactions. Unaware individuals externalize responsibility. They blame others, deny flaws, react defensively to feedback. This creates what we can call the integration test. How someone responds when confronted with uncomfortable truths reveals psychological maturity. Reflection indicates integration. Defensiveness indicates projection. This test does not measure morality. It measures awareness. Understanding Jung's insights can transform multiple life domains. In relationships, projection explains recurring conflicts. In workplaces, persona breakdown reveals leadership character. In parenting, awareness of projection prevents emotional transference. But Jung warned against using psychological insights as tools for judgment. The goal is understanding, because character assessment ultimately reflects self-observing projection in others, encourages recognition of projection within oneself. Reading character becomes a mirror. Jung emphasized that psychological insight carries responsibility. Awareness can create empathy or manipulation. The difference lies in intention. Using character insight to understand fosters connection. Using it to control damages relationships. Jung believed individuation requires humility, because recognizing shadow in others inevitably reveals shadow within oneself. Character reading is not superiority. It is consciousness. Carl Jung's psychology reveals a powerful truth. We are not who we pretend to be, but neither are we defined by our shadow alone. Authentic character emerges from integration. Understanding projection and persona breakdown allows deeper perception of human behavior. But more importantly, it encourages self-awareness, because the ultimate purpose of Jung's psychology was not reading others. It was becoming authentic. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And becoming who you truly are begins with recognizing the mask, understanding the shadow, and integrating both into wholeness."